President Sisi appoints endowment minister to attend Pope Francis' funeral. Prime Minister Madbouli affirms Egypt's readiness to collaborate with Nile Basin countries. A Hamas delegation meets Egyptian mediators in Cairo for ceasefire talks in Gaza. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has appointed Presidential Advisor for Religious Affairs and Minister of Awqaf, Osama al-Azhari, to attend the funeral of Pope Francis. Al-Azhari expressed deep sorrow over the Pope's passing, highlighting his significant humanitarian contributions and noble efforts. He emphasized that Pope Francis will be remembered for his courageous stance in promoting humanity during times of war and conflict, as well as his steadfast commitment to defending the oppressed, the poor, and refugees. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli stated Egypt is prepared to work with Nile Basin countries to enhance their capabilities and share expertise across various sectors, including agriculture, irrigation, health, energy, and mining. During a meeting with Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni, Madbouli extended greetings from President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and praised Uganda's successful hosting of a significant summit. He emphasized Egypt's commitment to strengthening bilateral relations, urging increased communication and collaboration to elevate the partnership. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli affirmed Egypt's enduring commitment to supporting the Federal Republic of Somalia alongside the international community. Speaking on behalf of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi at the extraordinary summit of the troop contributing countries to the African Union Support and Stabilization Mission in Somalia, Madbouli reiterated Egypt's steadfast backing of Somali President Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud's vision for a unified and prosperous Somalia. Highlighted key developments, including the lifting of the long-standing arms embargo, measures to reduce Somalia's debt burden, and the Somali Security Conference set for December 2023, all of which have created political momentum benefiting Somalia's national army. Egypt has welcomed the signing of the declaration principles in Washington between the Congolese and Rwandan governments aimed at achieving peace, stability, and economic development in eastern Congo. In a statement, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs highlighted that this agreement marks progress in building trust between the two nations and fostering peace and regional stability in the Great Lakes region of Africa. Egypt also praised both governments' commitment to resolving disputes peacefully, contributing to the reduction of tensions and opening new opportunities for cooperation and joint development for the benefit of both countries. A senior Hamas official confirmed to AFP that a delegation from the group will meet Egyptian mediators in Cairo today for talks focused on a possible ceasefire in Gaza. The official said Hamas is ready to release all detainees as part of a deal to end the war and proposed a 5-year truce as part of its broader vision for a resolution. The discussions come amid growing international efforts to secure a halt to the fighting that has devastated the Gaza Strip. Commander of the Egyptian Air Force, Lieutenant General Mahmoud Fuad Abdegawad, held meetings with Czech armed forces officials to discuss enhancing military cooperation. During his official visit to the Czech Republic, Lieutenant General Abdegawad emphasized the strength and depth of Egyptian-Czech relations and highlighted the importance of increasing cooperation and exchanging expertise between the Egyptian and Czech Air Force in the near future. Egypt's ambassador to Poland, Ahmed al-Ansari, hosted an official dinner in honor of His Holiness Pope Tawadros II during his historic pastoral visit to Poland. Ambassador al-Ansari noted that the Pope's visit is especially significant at a time when the world faces unprecedented challenges, including armed conflicts, border disputes, water scarcity, food shortages, and the growing rise of hate speech and discrimination. The General Authority for Roads and Bridges is progressing with driver training for the Bus Rapid Transit, the BRT project, in preparation for the first phase operation. The Transport Ministry confirmed that 10 buses have been used for initial driving training, with the total number of buses now reaching 50. The first phase of the BRT project will feature 14 stations out of the planned 48 across 3 phases. It spans 67 kilometers, covering routes from the Mariotea Munib axis to the Alexandria Agricultural Road, and from the Mansouriya Fayoum Road Al Wahat Road intersection. CEO of the Social Housing Fund and Real Estate Finance, Maya Abdel Hamid, announced the completion of 725,000 housing units for low-income citizens and 33,000 for middle-income citizens. This effort has provided adequate housing for 650,000 families, benefiting around 3 million people. Speaking at the Innovation in the Social Housing Sector conference in Bahrain, Abdel Hamid highlighted that 85% of the units built under the Presidential Housing for All Egyptians program were located in new cities, while the remaining 15% were constructed across various governorates since the program's launch in 2014. Chairman of the Egypt Healthcare Authority and Supervisor General of the Universal Health Insurance, Ahmed El-Subki, met with a high-level delegation from Turkey's Modest Psychiatry and Neurology Hospital to explore ways of enhancing cooperation and strategic partnership. The discussions focused on signing a cooperation agreement aimed at exchanging expertise and boosting the capacities of medical and administrative staff, particularly in psychological rehabilitation, health counseling, and community awareness. Minister of Water Resources and Irrigation Hani Swalem confirmed that the new Dairut Barrage project has surpassed 79% completion. The project will benefit 850,000 acres across the governorates of Minya, Beni Suef, Fayoum, and Giza. The concrete structure, bridge, control gates, and hydraulic operating system have all been completed, with work now focusing on the road above the permanent dam for the Yusuf Canal. The spokesperson for the Ministry of Health and Population, Hussam Abdel Ghaffar, announced that the ministry has issued over 10,000 treatment decisions at the state's expense, with a total cost exceeding 360 million Egyptian pounds. In the first quarter of this year, the ministry issued 803,646 state-funded treatment decisions, with a total cost surpassing 6 billion pounds. Abdel Ghaffar added that the state-funded treatment program operates across 700 hospitals nationwide, including those affiliated with the Ministry of Health and university hospitals. A recent report by the International Monetary Fund highlighted the top 10 African countries with the highest gross domestic product, the GDP, in 2025. According to the fund's statistics, Egypt ranks first in Africa for the GDP in 2025, securing the top position on the continent. Gross domestic product, or the GDP, represents the total value of all goods and services produced by a country in a year. Hassan Abdullah, governor of the Central Bank of Egypt, participated in the second meeting of the G20 finance ministers and central bank governors held during the IMF and World Bank spring meetings in Washington, D.C. from April 21st till 26th, 2025. Abdullah recommended addressing the negative impacts of international trade fragmentation on Africa, suggesting the use of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement as a solution. He also emphasized the need to increase the number of bankable projects in Africa to attract private capitals. The Central Agency for Public Mobilization and Statistics has reported a decrease in Egypt's unemployment rate, which fell to 6.6% in 2024, a decline of 0.4% compared to 2023. Among youth aged 15 till 29, the unemployment rate stands at 14.9%, showing a decrease of 1% from 2023. Unemployment among males in this age group is 9.8%, while it is significantly higher at 37.1% among females. The total number of unemployed individuals in 2024 reached 2,113,000 citizens, a reduction of 77,000 from 2023, reflecting a 3.5% decrease. And to our sports segment, Egypt has been crowned champion of the official African Traditional Karate Championship held by the Egyptian Traditional Karate Federation of Cairo International Stadium. The Egyptian national karate team won 67 medals, followed by Sudan with 27 medals and Congo with 16. Minister of Youth and Sports Ashraf Subhi, who attended several matches, praised the successful organization of the tournaments. The official account of the United Sports Company has released a promotional video for the Military World's Equestrian Championship set to take place in Egypt under the patronage of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. The championship will feature horses descended from the legendary Arabian horse Nazir. The event is scheduled to run from May 5th till May 8th at the Cayenne Equestrian Club in the new administrative capital. Pyramids FC will meet South Africa's Sundowns in the final match of the African Champions League at the end of May. The first leg is set for May 24th in South Africa, with the return leg scheduled for June 1st in Egypt. Pyramids secured their spot in the final after a thrilling 3-2 victory over South Africa's Orlando Pirates. The semi-finals of the On Fire Squash Championship will kick off this evening in Washington with a total prize pool of $50,000. 3 Egyptian players have advanced to this stage: Rwan Al-Arabi, Karim El-Turki and Kinzi Ayman. The championship runs from April 23rd to April 27th. The General Authority for Meteorology predicts warm weather across northern Egypt, including Greater Cairo tomorrow. South Sinai and the southern regions will experience hotter conditions, while temperatures will be mild at the start of the night, becoming cooler later on in most areas. The authority also expects morning fog on agricultural roads, highways and near water bodies, affecting routes leading to and from Greater Cairo, the Delta, the northern coasts, the canal cities and northern Upper Egypt. Occasional winds are expected to be active in Sinai and the Red Sea mountain ranges. That brings us to the end of our news bulletin, and here is what we've been covering. President Sisi appoints endowment minister to attend Pope Francis' funeral. Prime Minister Madbouli affirms Egypt's readiness to collaborate with Nile Basin countries. And Hamas delegation meets Egyptian mediators in Cairo for ceasefire talks in Gaza. That's all for now. Remember to stay updated by following Qnews for the latest developments. Many thanks for watching.